Hello, welcome. I am Laura. Thank you so much for stopping by. We are going to dive into your month ahead for December 2023. But if you do find this reading at a different time, it can still apply because the message finds you when you need it. Remember, it is also a group reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And I would love to hear down in the comments below how this resonated with you, how it fits. If it's something you're like, yes, I love that. No, I don't. Let me know down in the comments below and let me know what pile you picked. I love reading your comments. Anyways, let's dive into it. You can choose your pile, and when you're ready, there will be a timestamp down below in the description, and you can jump ahead to whichever pile you chose. All right, pile number 1, welcome. What is happening for you December 2020? Did I say 2023 in the beginning? I meant 2022. Whatever. Also, something that I've realized with when I do like year ahead or month ahead readings, I can also pick up energy for like a 1 to like 5 year time frame. So one of the things I will say is if something doesn't happen right away, but you're like, I really want that, it's probably in your energy field. It's just something that you may have to work towards or take more action towards. So starting us off, we have the 9 of Cups followed by the 2 of Wands, okay? So for the month of December, you are definitely, it's really funny because like if you look at this card here, and I'll show you in just a second, she's like literally sort of like brewing these potions, or like her cups are overflowing, and that is definitely the vibe. Like you have a lot of things on the go, you're multitasking a lot, you've got a lot of like little like you've got a lot of projects happening, but they're all sort of like working towards this one bigger project, right? Like it's sort of like if you run your own business and you're the only one working for you right now, you have to be your advertising, you have to be your marketing, you have to be your admin person, you have to be your bookkeeper, you have to be like your regular self in life. And if you're a parent, you have to be a parent, and then you have to do whatever your job is, right? So that's very much the vibe of this. And if you're still in school, it feels like you're juggling a lot of subjects. There's just a lot that you are going through, but it is all building and accumulating into this thing that's going to be really, really, really good for you. And you are starting to see the benefit of it. It might have felt like everything was like really like, ooh, this is taking too long, or like what's happening. But like things are starting to get rolling now. Things are starting to move along. Things are starting to happen. And with this 2 of Wands here, you're definitely building this new foundation for yourself. I feel like I always say that in readings. I'm like, you need to build a foundation, but like you're starting to build your foundation, and there's new things on the horizon for you. And part of that is what is coming out of this new energy of all these little projects that you have working towards this one big project. It is going to bring you that stability and that foundation that you are looking for. That's funny. So you have the 2 of Wands, and then you also have the 2 of Swords, and then you also have the Knight of Cups, okay? So this is really interesting, but I almost, with this Knight of Cups coming out at the exact same time as the 2 of Swords, and then you having the 2 of Wands and the 2 of Swords, this sort of speaks to me as there might be some like home, like family drama happening in December. Or like relationship drama. It's not bad, okay? Because you do have like the romantic energy with the Knight of Cups here. You do have that very like caring, sensitive soul, whether that's you or your partner or you versus your family. But there is kind of this energy, and I think that's actually it. I think that's it. Is there's sort of this energy of like you're this very, very sensitive soul. You're this very, very insensitive. You are very, very sensitive and intuitive. Anyways, as I was saying, with the 2 of Wands and the 2 of Swords and the Knight of Cups, it's very much this energy of like you are very, very sensitive, you are very, very intuitive, you're very, very empathic, and it almost feels like if you're going home for Christmas, or if you're having a bunch of like people over for the holidays, or just something like that, there might be some conflicts that are coming up to the surface, but they're coming up to the surface for you to resolve them, for you to build something new for yourself. And you've also got the Knight of Pentacles. So this is hilarious because you've got the 2 of Swords, 2 of Swords, Knight of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. There's a lot of like mirror imaging here. So something that you really need to look for and notice is how other people are being a mirror and projecting your projections back to you, or reflecting your projections back to you, okay? So it's like, this is sort of your time to really go like, okay, like, where is this coming from? Like, can I forgive this? Can I move past this? What does this have to do with me? Like, why am I being so triggered by this? Because oftentimes our triggers are not actually, like, yes, the other person will do something or say something, but it's like, it's something, it's a wound inside of us that's coming forward to be cleaned, to be, like, organized. Why is it cleaned and organized? That is never what I say when I say that sort of type of statement. And I'm like, clean and organized. But for whatever reason, for you, your wounds need to be cleaned and organized. Okay, pile 1. It's weird, but I accept it. What is this wounding around? Okay, so you've got the 9 of Pentacles here, and I love this card so much. Okay, so a couple of different things. With the 9 of Pentacles, I'm getting scarcity. I'm getting money. So it could be money, it could be lack, it could be scarcity. This might also be something where if all of your projects are coming to fruition, you might start like being like creating like really good like monetary gain from your projects. And I almost feel like there's like this part of you that feels like you have to defend why you're making the type of money that you're making, or charging the money that you're charging, or like why you're wanting to make more money. It's sort of that thing of like, you're expanding beyond your family, you're expanding beyond your friend group, like you're expanding outwards, and you almost sort of have this like inner battle happening where you're like, I need to defend this, I need to prove my value. And it's like, no, you don't. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. And yeah, this is really cool because it just came out with the 10 of Cups here. So yeah, so you are going to have everything start coming together, start coming through, having that fulfillment. This is so crazy. Also, I just realized 9 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, 2 of Wands, 2 of Swords, Knight of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. Like, you're just getting like literally like the same number, or like court card, but like in a different suit, which is so crazy. So yeah, so there's definitely this energy with like the 9 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles is like one of the things that also might be holding you back in really, really launching this business or these creative projects or whatever it is these limiting scarcity thinking. Because it's definitely like there is some stuff coming up of like not... The other thing too is like you might be like, no, like I'm fine. Like I don't have any money issues. I don't have any scarcity thoughts. But like they're underneath. Like they are buried, if that makes sense. Like there's something, they are something that are like, they're below the surface, right? Like you see her here and she's sort of like hidden. Like that's where the beliefs are. It's like they're hidden and you're not really aware of them. Yeah. Okay. So we're moving away from all the duplicates, which is beautiful. So you've got the 7 of Wands. Again, creative project coming to fruition. Sort of that like heads up of like, hey, be careful. Hey, figure out where you're going. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, do you have a plan? Hey, are you just flying by the seat of your pants? I don't know why that's the energy, but that's the energy coming through. Sort of like, hey, did you do your taxes this year? Hey, do you have all your books in order? Hey, everything going okay? That's the vibe. I don't know why. But you did get the Queen of Cups. Okay. So it's so funny because I just keep coming back to this 2 of Swords and this conflict and this like not being able to see everything that's going on. And it's sort of like this Queen of Cups is coming forward to be like, you are mastering your emotions, but you also have to remember that in mastering your emotions, you are allowed to feel your emotions. Okay. Which is so funny because as I was saying that, we got the Strength card, which to me, the Strength card is always that like communicating with like your inner child, communicating with the inner part of you that maybe you, like that inner like wild woman or that inner beast or that inner like lion, or in this case is a whale. But it's sort of that like making friends with the shadows, making friends with the darkness, making friends with the parts of yourself that maybe you judge really harshly, and making friends with yourself so that you are able to, instead of like attacking yourself, you can support yourself. Did we have a 4? No, we didn't. Okay. And then you've just got the 4 of Pentacles. Okay. And this There is this interesting energy of, I feel like you might have been going like full steam ahead all year, and you are sort of being asked to take this break, to have this moment of rest, to have this moment of like, I can just sit on this rock and like braid my hair or brush it or like whatever, right? Like having that moment of like self-care, having that moment to like take care of yourself. I feel like there's something else coming through. Hold on. I just put my card deck down and it was like, no, not yet. But really like having that peace, right? And I think that this comes back to that energy of we were talking about, of like not having to prove yourself to anyone, including yourself, because there's almost this part of you that always has to be better. You always have to like one up yourself or like your siblings or your parents or whoever. You feel like you're constantly in competition, and it's like you don't like walk away from, you don't have to be in competition with anybody, right? Like you don't even have to be in competition with yourself. You can just do things because it brings you joy. It doesn't have to be a competition. Like you can just have fun with it. And the funny thing too is I think there's almost this energy of like, if I have fun, then I'm not succeeding. And it's like, success can be fun. Let your success be fun. Like if you're not having fun, then are you really successful? Because to me, success is fun. So it's sort of like, okay, what energy are you stepping into? That's so funny. I was like, what energy are you stepping into? So this is actually really interesting. So you have got the Hierophant, and this is also coming through as like the scholar or like the scribe, very much because like she's writing a book. But it's almost like I feel like on some level you want to write a book and you've been putting it off for years and years and years. And it's so funny because I feel like this reading's all over the place, but I also feel like for someone it'll be like, this is my whole life that you're describing right now. But there's very much this energy of like you, again, it keeps coming back to this energy of like, you have all these projects going on. You're constantly dealing with like competitive nature, whether it's with siblings or roommates or friends or just yourself in general. But like you're really actually this like super soft romantic soul at the inside of you. You're going through all these things. Like you want to be able to just like take a break and have a relaxed state, but you're not really giving that to yourself yet. But you're kind of getting into this place of like you need to start giving yourself that time. And this is all coming together with like really, really healing that inner part of you that constantly thinks that you have to be competing. And this, you will have success, and no matter what you do, you will have success. It will all come true for you. But it's like there's also like these little like warning signs of like, hey, are you gonna get burnt out? Hey, did you do this right? Like, hey, are you skipping important steps? I feel like for some of you, you're like a manifesting generator, so you're like, multitasking is my main state. But it's like, yes, but you can also, you can multitask and like stack your habits and like all these different things and still like take note and be like, oh, okay, like paying my taxes is important. Like I can't skip that just because I don't want to do it, right? And I feel like on some level there's certain things that you have skipped to get to the success that you have gotten to, and it's kind of like, okay, this is where it's inviting you to sort of go back over and be like, okay, what do I do that works and what do I do that doesn't work, and how can I bring that together? And there's this thing of like really mastering your emotions, but not in the way that you think of mastering emotions, because I feel like you think of mastering your emotions as this like conquering your emotions and like not feeling anything, which again, this sort of comes back to this like this strength card as well, because it's this energy of like mastering your emotions. But there's like, you look at mastering your emotions as like having no emotions, and it's like, no, mastering your emotions is like understanding your emotions. It's realizing that your emotions do not define you, that your emotions are like the sky, like it's constantly, or like the clouds in the sky, or the sun in the sky, or the snow, like it's constantly changing, the weather's constantly changing, but like it's always there kind of thing, right? I don't know if this is making sense, but like you're the earth and the weather's constantly changing. The weather are your emotions and you are the earth. I feel like someone did an analogy like this with the sky and it was way better than what I just did, but you know what? It works. But like that's the energy, right? Like it's sort of this thing of like you actually gain so much power from feeling your emotions and connecting to your emotions and honoring your emotions, that when you dismiss your emotions, you're actually like cutting off your power source. So like in December, it's really going to be, and it's so funny because I do these readings and then I'm like, this is going to be like a 3 to 6 months thing, but that's okay. You can do it in 1 month if you want. Again, nothing set in stone. time is fluid. It's also made up, but that's a whole other rant. But like, if you want this to be like over and done with, it can be over and done with, right? But like, there's this level of like honoring your emotions that allow them to move through us so much faster, where when we ignore our emotions, we sort of like force them down, and then they're forced to come back up again, usually in really inopportune times. And that's what you're beginning to realize. And we do have that scarcity, right? But it's so buried. Like, you keep like shoving it down. But in December, it is going to pop up, which might be causing some of those conflicts. Some of those things are like hitting each other. And there's going to be like some learnings. There's some lessons that you're going through. There's some like really, really big, I feel like there's some really, really big lessons. And there's also a book. There's also a book that you want to write. I feel like I'm just rambling now, but this is all sort of like where it's coming from and what's coming through. So let's just dive in really quickly here to what is happening for you in December, pile 1. I love how that was all just like one tarot deck. We didn't even really mix. Oh, the confirmation. Yeah, so you have Storm. And I think these are talking about like an emotional storm that's going to be rising up and going to be happening for you. So everything that we just said of like learning to like communicate with your emotions, connect with your emotions, balance your emotions, understand and honor your emotions. You have got, you have falling in love, which is so funny because you also had somewhere here, you had that Knight of Cups, which could be like a surprise romance coming in. So that, we didn't even touch on that. That was just like this little tiny thing. But yeah, there's definitely falling in love. For those of you who are already in a relationship or not looking for a relationship, this can completely also be like you just falling in love with yourself, because we sort of talked about that, like this big thing of like meeting your darkness and being like, I love you. Or like looking at the parts of yourself that you hate and being like, I'm not going to hate you anymore. I'm going to love you. Like, even if you annoy the shit out of me, I'm going to love you. So yeah. Yeah, this is interesting too. You have got Wreath, okay? And there's this really interesting thing happening, where it's like something's coming full circle, okay? Something's coming full circle. Something's being built. We talked about that with this Nine of Cups energy, like you're building something. So you're building something, something's coming full circle, something's coming to completion, something's coming to this like energy of like, it feels like there's so many things happening, and then like they're suddenly just being like, ooh, it all comes together. So that's your energy for December. I feel like at this point I'm just rambling. I feel like towards the second half of December, if you are looking for that romantic connection, that's when it'll show up. But I do feel like the storm, the unconscious energy, all of that is what's coming up at the beginning of the month. It could be like all of winter too, though. And it's this energy of like, you need to have that storm to like shake things up, release things, let things go, so that you can bring in that new energy that will be coming your way. Okay. Hope that made sense. I don't know. Interesting. All right. Also so funny that we only used 2 card decks, but that's okay. When the messages come through, however they want to. Yeah, that's it for me. If you want a private session, they are down below, and you can sign up for my newsletter, my email list, all of that good stuff. And let me know how this resonates in the comments. Okay. Mwah. Bye. All right, pile 2. Hello, how are you? Welcome. I'm Laura. This is your energy for December 2022. Let's see what is happening for you. All right, so to start us off, we have the Ace of Swords, okay? This to me says that you're building a new mindset. You're also cutting a lot of cords, okay? Like a lot of cords. I feel like if you've like had this year, people have been being removed from your life this year. I'm laughing because I'm like, whoa, okay, this is like big energy, but it's like a lot of people have been removed from your life, and I feel like on some level you're kind of like, WTF, like what is going on? And you're kind of like, I don't want to lose anybody else, whether they just like walked out of your life, or like they moved, or you moved, or like you decided not to be friends or lovers or anything like that anymore, or like they actually like passed over and they're no longer here. You've had a lot of loss, and there's a lot of grief, but it's sort of this like energy of like, again, like the cords were being cut and they were being removed from your life for a reason. It's not going to make sense for some of them. Like, I feel like also for some of you, like there have been some deaths this year, and you're kind of like this, it doesn't make sense. It's never going to make sense. And unfortunately, that's just how life is sometimes. Like, we all want to find a reason. We all want to like understand and be like, oh yeah, like this happened because of X, Y, and Z. But like sometimes it just doesn't make sense, and you have to grieve. And sometimes the people that we lose is ourselves, and it's sort of this thing of like finding yourself again after you've lost yourself, or after you've lost someone, or like learning to live life without someone. And for some of you it might be a pet, but for some of you it was like a best friend, or maybe like a parent, or like someone that was just really close to you and kind of like your entire world. I'm hearing that song by Nessa Barrett that's like Die First, and I feel like that's sort of like this, maybe not like the theme song for this year for you, but it's just like there's been some people who have been leaving your life, whether that means that they also physically left the planet, or that they're still here and just like wandering the earth somewhere, and you're like, well, why can't I come with you? It's left you in this place of like, I feel like really questioning things, like really, really questioning existence and questioning yourself and who you are. And it just, yeah. It's a really interesting energy. If this does not resonate with you, please grab another pile. But yeah, I just feel like it's been this like really like a lot of people have left your life this year. And yeah, you've got this Five of Pentacles. So yeah, it's sort of like you're hiding out from the world. You're hiding out from yourself. You're hiding from the world. Like you don't see the offerings because you're hiding, right? But it's like, it's totally understandable hiding. Like you're grieving, and you're not just, it's like you're grieving yourself, you're grieving your life, you're grieving who you were, you're grieving the people who were in your life, you're grieving the dreams that you had, the visions that you had. And like, again, because this is a group reading, like for some of you this is like a lover, for some of you this is a parent, some of this is a best friend, some of this is a pet, and some of this is just you grieving yourself, or like coming out of a relationship, again, platonic or romantic, and just being like, I lost myself in this relationship. Like, I don't know who I am anymore. And almost this thing of like, for some of you, it's like you completely twisted yourself to be the vision of what like you thought this other person wanted, or like you twisted yourself to like fit in with this other person. And like you went against like all your morals, and you went against like everything that like made you you. And then that person was like, yeah, never mind. I'm okay, thanks. I don't want you. And you're like, wait a second, I just bent and twisted and conformed, and you don't want me? Like, what? And it's weird, but it's so like the energy is so clear right now, and it's just like, again, if this is your reading, it's your reading, and if it's not, go ahead and pick another pile. But yeah, you're going to, with the Six of Swords, you are going to make it through this, okay? It seems right now like all hope is lost. It seems like you're alone. It seems very like you just want to like shelter and protect. And it's sort of like it feels like you feel like you're like this exposed nerve, or this like open wound. And that's okay. Like, it sucks. Like, I'm not saying that it's okay that you're hurting, but I'm saying it's okay to hurt. It's okay to feel those feelings. It's okay to have this time of mourning or grief. Because if you just shove it down and pretend that everything's okay, like it's just going to come back later stronger, okay? So it's like, I feel like some people in your life are like, oh, just get over it. It wasn't that bad. Or like, oh, I got over it so much quicker. You should be over it by now. Everybody grieves in different ways. And it's like, especially for those, not especially, but like, and for those of you who are grieving something that doesn't have the counterpart of someone actually like dying or something like that, and you're like, well, they're still alive, I shouldn't be grieving this hard. You can grieve for any reason. You can grieve for the idea, you can grieve for the memory, you can grieve for your hopes and your dreams and your wishes. I would also like to say that for some of you, if this isn't resonating on like a personal level of like a friend or a loved one, and friends can be loved ones, but like if it's not like a person, you could also be grieving, because if you're like sitting here and you're like, no, this is my reading, but it's resonating, but it's not resonating. Like it could also be like a job that you lost or a dream that didn't come to fruition. So like you can be grieving for so much. Like it doesn't always have to have a physical body attached to it. But with this Six of Swords, you are going to make it through. Okay, like you are going to make it through this this life. Like you're going to make it out of the darkness. You're going to make it out of this like it's really funny because the message is coming through. You're going to make it out of this sanctuary. And I'm like, that's so weird because it's a sanctuary. Like you don't want to leave a sanctuary. But there is sort of this energy of like you've made yourself your own little like protected bubble. And I feel like it's sort of this message of like, okay, now maybe it's not exactly the time for you to like run out in the world and be like, here I am again. But it's like your sanctuary gets to move with you. Your sanctuary is a mental place in your mind. And like, yes, you can make like your physical bedroom or whatever like a sanctuary. I'm also seeing like someone in a treehouse. But like, it's sort of this energy of like, you can have a physical sanctuary, but you can also build like an inner sense of peace, and that's what's going to get you through this. That's what's going to move you forward, okay? And it's also asking you to look at maybe some unconventional ways. And it's funny because I'm like, if you're asking a card reading, like that could be like your unconventional way. Or if you're looking, I don't know, meditation or like singing or whatever your thing is, writing, drama classes, I don't know, because again, group reading. But it's like, it's funny because I'm looking at this and I'm like, it's being pulled by a seal. And it's like this unconventional, it's not a dog sled. It's not like a horse, it's a seal. And yes, it's a mermaid deck, so it's magical and mystical and all of this. But it's like you're magic and you're mystical. And you get to have these other energies, right? You get to do things your own way that may not fit in with those around you. You've also got the Five of Cups, so we are mirroring the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Cups here. And this, again, this is very like symbolism of the card, which I love this artwork, but we're just going to pull on it because I feel like, again, some people are very visual, so I'm just going to give it to you here. But like there is a light in the distance, okay? This is you sheltering and holding on to you. This is you healing you, okay? You know that light is in the distance. You're not quite ready to go there yet. You're like, I'm not abandoning myself. Everyone else has left me, but I'm going to stay. I'm going to hold on to me. I'm going to take care of me, and then together we will go over towards the light, okay? So you're making friends with your darkness, your sadness, your depression, your anxiety, the fear, okay? That's who you're making friends with right now, which is also why all of these cords were cut. It was to bring you to this place of love and acceptance for yourself, okay? It was to bring you to this place of solitude, which is so funny because like I literally just posted a thing on my Instagram about solitude. And I'm like, oh, okay, this reading's resonating for me on different levels too. But it's like, there's this thing of like, you had to come to this place inside of yourself to make friends with yourself, okay? And you will find other friends. You will find like all these little houses that are lit up in the background. Like you will make new connections, okay? You will find new support systems. You will find new friendships. So it's like, don't think that you're like alone forever. You're not. Oh, this is so cute. I'm like, you're not going to be alone forever. And we got the Lovers, okay? Now also I want you to recognize like she's staring at herself. Okay, this is you realizing that you are your greatest soulmate, that you are your greatest life partner, that you are the one who is going to be with you throughout your entire life, no matter what, okay? This is you really, really having that sense of like, oh, I'm my greatest companion. I'm my best friend. And everybody else is icing. And yes, icing is delicious and icing is amazing and we love icing, but like, I'm the main course. I'm the whole thing. I'm the big deal, okay? And it's sort of this like thing of really, really coming and becoming your own best friend, your own lover, your own companion. And it's going to take some time for some time of hibernation, okay? It's going to take some rest and recuperation. But you have, again, all of these little animal friends all around you, just waiting for you to emerge. These are spirit allies. These are like possibly like a physical pet, whether that be like a cat or a rabbit. There's also some foxes and bears and all this kind of stuff on here, but I'm definitely seeing like rabbit energy, cat energy. So like physical pets. But it's also talking about the potential friends that are coming forward. Okay, the potential people that you are going to make and the friendships that you're going to have after you go through this hibernation period. Is that it? Okay. You've also got the Seven of Swords here. And this is really interesting because you have the Six of Swords, Four of Swords, and Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords is sort of this thing, it's an interesting message because I just got finished saying, like, give yourself this time to hibernate, give yourself this time to, like, go inwards. But there's almost this thing of, like, don't get trapped in your solitude, okay? Use your solitude as a time to rest, recuperate, rejuvenate, all of that, heal. But, like, don't get trapped in it because it's almost this thing of, like, you don't always realize, it's sort of that fine line where your coping mechanisms become unhealthy, right? Like, we all need coping mechanisms. There's no shame in having coping mechanisms. But there's sort of this thing of, like, also be aware of, because you have that option for forward momentum. You have that option to pull yourself out of this place of depression or anxiety or, and, like, as someone who deals with depression and anxiety, it's like, I understand how sometimes all you want to do is stay in bed. And it's like, when you can't get out of bed, okay, stay in bed. But it's like, find little things. Like, okay, well, maybe you don't feel like having a shower, but go have a shower. Maybe you don't feel like going for a walk, but go for a walk. Like, finding those little things that you can do to start pulling you out of this rut. Yeah, so, like, this is so funny. Where can you find that light in the darkness? Okay? What, like, this is so funny. I was literally just talking about this, but, like, see all these little, like, the little tiny candles? The little, like, in the darkness? It's like, what are your little tiny moments of light? Is it doing a card reading? Is it doing a meditation? Going for a walk? Making yourself a meal? Like, I don't know, like, figure it out for yourself, but, like, finding those little things. And then I do recommend, write it down on a list. Like, make a physical list of the things that make you feel better. This is something that I do myself personally. This is something that I've recommended to countless numbers of clients. But, like, when we are in the dark night of our soul, when we are in, like, the depths of despair, when we are in, like, drowning in the water of emotions, we often forget our tools and our resources and the things that give us our strength, the light in the darkness, the things that pull us forward, the things that bring us back, right? We forget them because we're so clouded and so busy and so in our little, like, in our little self-entombed tomb. And it's like, if you have a list where you're like, oh, I can do a card reading. Oh, I can go meditate. Oh, I can make myself a meal. And if you can't make a meal, oh, I can order in, right? So at least you're getting food. Like, don't judge yourself for ordering in. Celebrate the fact that you're feeding yourself. You're giving yourself nutrition. Like, or like, oh, I can have a shower. I can drink some water. I can do my skincare routine. I can, like, deep condition my hair. Like, whatever it is. And, like, I can go for a walk. I can go to the gym. I can turn on some music and dance in my room. Like, whatever your things are, start compiling that list. For me, I have a lot of, like, healing tools and healing modalities of, like, different ways to clear my energy and move through things, because those are the things that I rely on the most when I get in those really, really dark spaces. Is, like, ways to pull me out of these energies is by shifting that energy. So I have a lot of, like, energy shifters that I do. they're way too in-depth and just way too much to go on this call or on this video. But like, again, you get to do your self-discovery. You get to find the things that make you happy. I love essential oils. I find that they really lift and inspire my mood. So I'll write on my list like essential oils and like have certain oils for different moods and stuff like that. So it's like finding those things that can help bring you that forward momentum that you're looking for, and are your light in the darkness. Okay, so this is interesting. So you have got ornaments, and this is definitely making me think of like cleaning up and organizing your space, organizing your room, and not necessarily organizing, but like decorating. And that doesn't have to be like decorating for like a holiday or like a season, but maybe just like, I don't know, like making a craft or fluffing your blankets, washing your sheets, just having some sort of something that brings you joy and lights up the space that you're in. Because if you're going to put yourself in a cocoon, if you're going to put yourself in this little sanctuary of protection bubble that's your bedroom, and I speak as someone who barely leaves her room herself, make it beautiful. Whatever that means for you, make it something that speaks to your soul, okay? And then you've also got perseverance, okay? So she's sitting here on the ground. All of her apples are spilled over. It's getting close to nighttime. I feel like this is you right now. Like things are spilling over. Things are falling out of your basket. You're kind of like, I'm lost. I don't know the way home. That's okay. The way home is your heart. It's you. You are your way home. You will find your way home in the darkness. And the darkness isn't going to last forever. Okay? It's so funny because I want to give you like, here's how you do it. And it's like, I think I've given you everything that's coming through. It's like the only thing that's like, come back in January. Let's see what's up. Yeah, you've got ringing the bells. So it's like, this to me speaks of like bringing sound into your life, whether that be sound healing, whether that be like just like a little like bell, whether that's speaking with your voice, but like bringing in some sound. Sound breaks up energy. Okay, you have like a little singing bowl, or even just like a freaking triangle from school type of thing. Like having some sort of sound will change energy. Okay. I feel like that's it for you. I feel like this is something that you get to discover for yourself. Make your list of the things that bring you joy and bring you happiness so that you can lean on them when you need to. But also, once again, like, this hibernation period is a time to fall in love with yourself, okay? And it's funny because, yeah, we're just heading into winter if you live in the part of the world where it's winter, like I do. But it's sort of this, like, energy of solitude and hibernation. And it's like, it's not bad. You taking care of yourself right now is not bad. So take care of yourself in the way that you need to. And yeah. And you'll find new ways too. You'll find new relationships. Okay. That is everything I have for you. Let me know how it resonated in the comments. If you want a personal reading, that's down below. And thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Mwah. Bye. Hello, I'm Laura. Welcome to pile 3. How are you today? Welcome. We've had some heavy readings today. I'm curious how yours is going to be. So, this is your reading for December 2022. Although, if you find this at a different time, in a different month, a different year, whatever, it's a timeless reading. It's going to apply to you at any time. We're just putting it out because that's when we're filming it. And that's sort of the intention of what's happening next month. So, whatever the next month for you is, then this reading is for that. This is interesting. This is really interesting because I almost feel like my pile 2s, this is going to be there like next month. I feel like this is almost like a continuation of pile 2, but you don't have to go watch pile 2. Like, it just, if you were drawn to this one, it's just funny because you've got the Hermit and you've got the Sun. So it definitely tells me that you have been in this place of deep inner self-reflection, but you've found the light and you're coming through on the other side. You have found your source of joy. You found your source of happiness. And your source is yourself, okay? But you've really been on this journey of self-discovery, and this, in December, you're really seeing that light take over your life, okay? Yeah, I love this. Okay, I just need to show this side by side because this is so beautiful. So you have the light in his lantern that has now been taking over the whole world. You've got the light over here, and you've also got this gorgeous Ace of Wands. Okay, so you have gone through the dark night of the soul. You have gone through your self-discovery. You have gone through the realizing that you are the source of all of your things, that you are brilliant, that you are magic, that you are miracles, that you are like freaking mwah. You are just, it's so funny, but the word delicious is what's coming up. I'm like, you're so delicious. And I'm like, that's weird, but you're delicious. Anyways, so you have realized that, and you're starting to share that with other people. You're starting to let your light shine on other people and actually spark other people's brilliance and other people's inner light and other people's creativity, and you're building something new. This Ace of Wands is a new project, okay? I don't think, I was going to say it might be a continuation of something, but no, you're starting something, and you're starting it fresh, or you're doing it in a way that you've never done before, and possibly a way that's never been done before for other people as either. And you've got gratitude, okay? And again, she's like lighting herself up from the inside. Like, this is just like, this is the pile of freaking like just light overflowing in December. There's so much gratitude. There's so much love. There's so much warmth. Okay, interesting. I'm like, there's so much gratitude. There's so much warmth. And then it's like, darkest hour. Silent night. But yeah, like, there's so much of this coming through energy. Like, you've come through the darkest hour, but you also have realized in that, like, by going through this dark night of the soul that you have gone through and that you're coming out on the other side of, you have realized that you're never going to be the sun 24/7. Like, you, like 24/7, 365. Like, you're never going to be the sun all the time. You're not meant to be. You're meant to have these ups and downs. You're meant to have these darkest hours. You're meant to cycle. And there's this level of gratitude that you are engaging in that is coming from this energy of, oh, I'm going to have dark nights of the souls. I'm going to have these darkest hours. I'm going to have these like full moons and new moons and eclipses and all of this. I'm going to have all of these changing energies. And that's okay. I can navigate them. I can move through them. Like, you've gathered the wisdom to do that, okay? And you might still be gathering the wisdom, but like, you've done it. And it's like you're beginning to have gratitude for the silence, for the stillness, for the solitude, for the teachings. You're starting to realize like, oh, it's me. I can do this. I've got this. I'm the sun, okay? It's super funny because I'm thinking of like I just heard in my head like Taylor Swift's song where it's like, hi, it's me. I'm the problem, it's me. But it's like, no, you're the solution. So it's like, swap those lyrics. I'm like, hi, it's me. I'm the solution, it's me. But like, that's the thing, is like, you're realizing how powerful you are. Yeah, this is so funny. You've got the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. So yeah, there's definitely something with this new project or this new job that you're moving towards. It's just this new energy. Because that's the other thing too. Is it may not even be anything like in the outward world yet, but it's very much just this energy of like, there's this new fire. There's this new energy in you. And oh, I'm dropping cards. And it's bringing in the new pentacles. And we were just talking about new beginnings, and it's so funny because we got the Fool. Okay, we did get it in reverse because I dropped it, but it could be either way. I'm going to read it for both because it is very much this energy of you're moving on this new journey. You have this new energy. You have this new growth. You're making this new money, or you're doing something different with your money. I also feel like you might be traveling in December. Are you going on a trip? Because I'm just getting massive like going to the beach vibe, which also might be this like gratitude. But just this, and this, you got like the sun, like it's literally like the sun because you're going to a beach instead of like staying in the land of snow. And if you don't live near snow, just apply that message to you and however it applies. But to do, right? It can be, I feel like it could be either way, because there's very much this energy of like, you're going on this new adventure, but you're not necessarily the Fool, which is why it came up reversed, right? Because you're no longer in this thing of like, I don't know where I'm going. You're like, I've done this before. I know how to do this. You're open and you're willing to have things be different, have surprises, all of that. But you're kind of like, oh, I don't have to freak out. Even if I'm having this darkest hour, I know how to navigate that, right? So it's this really beautiful energy of like the expert and the fool. So you're coming at it with this new beginner mindset, but you're also coming with all the lessons and the learnings from everything that you've done in life up until now. And it's like, yeah, that's where this new energy of this Pentacles and this Ace of Wands comes in, is because, yeah, you're embarking on this new journey. You're bringing in this new energy, but you're doing it in a way where you're safe and you're supported from yourself. Like yourself is supporting you because you're like, you're no longer repeating the old patterns. You're making new patterns. You're building new neural pathways, right? Like you're learning from your mistakes and moving forward. And yeah, it's so funny. You've got the Fool and then you've got the Magician. Okay, so this is literally like everything coming together to manifest what you want. You're working with all of the elements. You have all of the puzzle pieces. You have, again, those lessons and those learnings, and you're using them to create and cultivate the world that you want to live in, the life that you want to live in, the dreams that you've had. You're bringing those into fruition, okay? And it's like, yeah, like you're literally like, it's so cool. Like this energy of like, yeah, you're going on this whole new journey, but you're going on this whole new journey because of the journey that you've already been on and how you're learning from your mistakes to move forward. And yeah, it's like you've learned to find the gratitude in the silence. So it's like when you understand now that when things like slow down, when you have a pause, or you used to label it as being stuck, you're like, no, I'm just having a moment of stillness. I'm just having a moment of inner reflection. I'm just having a moment for the world to catch up with my manifestations. Okay? That's the energy. That's the vibe. I also feel like this is pretty much, I'm like, we're done. But I'm like, this has only been like 8 minutes. I'm like, this is the shortest reading ever. We can't leave it that short. It's like a truck outside my house. Okay. You have the Seven of Pentacles. If you want to have a baby, if you're looking to get pregnant, if you're having a child, this is totally for you. But if you're not, I don't know why that was super dramatic like that. But there is this energy or this analogy with the pregnancy, right? It's like you have, again, that stillness, that time of patience, that time of waiting. It's like they know, like she's pregnant. They know that the baby's going to come forward. But they have to wait 9 months for that baby to be born. And that's also sort of, you've been in this waiting period. And maybe the old you would have been like, nothing's happening, nothing's moving forward, I can't do it. But it's like, no, you now, again, you understand and you know, oh, the universe is working for me. Everything's building, everything's growing, everything's being cultivated, everything's coming forward. All I have to do is take care of me. I just have to sit back, take action, do the things I need to do when I need to do them, but I don't have to have this worry that it's not going to come to fruition, okay? And then you've got the Pentacles, the 10 of Pentacles. So this is everything coming to fruition, okay? So we have the waiting, the patience with the 7, and we have the everything coming to fruition, okay? And something where I talked about that new money, but this is definitely something where it's like, I almost feel like you're creating like generational wealth, or you're creating like the riches that you've been looking for so that you can take care of yourself and your family, past generations, all of this. Like there's a lot of people coming together to create the world that you want to live in, the world that you're moving towards. And yeah, this is really interesting. So this is the 5 of Wands. And this can definitely be like a fighting energy. But for you, I don't feel like it's conflict. I don't feel like it's that fight of like, you're going to fight for what you believe in, but you're not going to battle. Does that make sense? Like, you're going to stand up for what you believe in, but you're not picking fights with people. Like, if you are having conflict, it's because there's a really big, deeper meaning behind that conflict. It's not just like, you're not just fighting for the sake of fighting, okay? Yeah, and it's really interesting because we've got the 6 of Cups, okay? And we had the Ten of Pentacles and the Six of Cups, and it's really interesting because together these two are really, really giving me that energy of like ancestors, family, the coming together of different generations. And this might actually be where this Five of Wands is coming from. We had a similar message completely presented in a different way, but in the pile 1, I think. But it was like, yeah, like it is holiday season, right? December, holidays, whether you celebrate holidays or not, it's usually a time when like school's out, people go on vacations, people have breaks, whatever. So like sometimes you get a lot of people in rooms together that maybe have very different views of the world. And it's like there's almost this thing here of like you stepping up to like educate people about, not educate people, but like standing up for yourself and saying like, hey, like this is what I've learned this year. This is how I've learned to regulate my nervous system. This is how I've learned to cope. This is how I've learned to deal. This is how I've learned to heal. This is what I'm going through. This is my new journey, okay? And for some of you, I also feel like there's going to be this little bit of this thing of like maybe the people that have known you the longest aren't seeing this new version of you yet that you know is happening, that you know that you are becoming, because again, it's still being grown. It's not there yet. But you're like, yeah, there's this new version of me coming into the world. But when you like see your parents or like your childhood best friend or whatever, it's suddenly this thing of like, no, you don't like that. You don't do that. It's like, let's say like, this is a super low level analogy, but like for your entire life, you've eaten vanilla ice cream. And like for your entire family, they're like, yeah, so-and-so loves vanilla ice cream. But then you're like, oh, I don't love that anymore. I love chocolate, right? And then they're like, they can't figure it. They're like, no, but you love vanilla. Like, this isn't true. Like, you love vanilla, right? And it's like, no, that's not me anymore. Like, I've expanded my palate. I've changed my tastes. But like, your family wants to keep you stuck in like that you love vanilla, and you're just like, no, not anymore. This is the moon, which you also got, and she's beautiful and she's stunning. This actually ties into everything that we were just talking about, but this is sharing your voice, okay? This is that message of sharing your truth, sharing your voice. There might be some shadows coming up or some fears or some insecurities, especially if like your family doesn't necessarily accept you or accept something that you're doing, or again, if you're changing jobs or you're really like you're betting on yourself, okay? You're your greatest investor. Like, you are putting your work into you. Like, you are working for yourself, whether that means like your actual job is working for yourself or you're just working on yourself to better yourself in whatever capacity, right? But it's like you're working on yourself because you're like, I want a better life than I've had up until this point. I want to like manage my emotions better, and I want to feel more, and I want to be able to accomplish more and do things and just feel good. I just want to feel good. And you're finding that way to be that sun for yourself, to be that energy, to be that spark, to be that light in the darkness. And it's like, not everybody is going to get that. Not everybody is going to be able to receive that or understand that. But it's like you're going to be doing it. And part of this is you standing up and speaking for yourself. Okay. That's interesting. But yeah, like this may be something where you sort of feel like you're going it alone for a while. Like you don't necessarily feel like you have like your family support system, or like you don't necessarily feel like you're like, I don't know, like you feel kind of like, yeah, like you're walking it alone. And that's okay. You don't have to, nobody else has to support you. Okay. When I split the deck just now, you did have the Two of Cups as well. I just want to see what else is coming through here, if anything's coming through. But it's like, yeah, you're the only one who has to understand you. Okay. Our final card for today is Temperance. She's lovely. She's beautiful. Balance, patience, being kind to yourself, being compassionate with yourself. Also allowing things to be magical. Okay, allowing things to work themselves out in ways that maybe you can't figure out, that you can't see the how. Having this thing of like, really so interesting. Sometimes I'll be delivering readings and then it's like someone pulls a plug and I'm like, wait a second, what are we saying? I'm going to come back to this in just a second because I kept, even though I said this was the last card, I kept shuffling and I got a card and I was like, oh, that's not exactly the flow of the reading. But I was also like, okay, do I just ignore it? And I was like, no, this is part of the message. So you've got the Five of Swords here, right? And you're being asked to become your greatest ally, to become the person who stands up for yourself, to become the version of you. If you're like, oh, I always wish my parents had done this, become that person for yourself. Just because your parents didn't know how to treat you the way that you wanted to be treated, you get to do that now. You get to treat yourself the way that you want to be treated. So there's this really interesting message here that's coming through of like, just because other people don't understand you, you don't have to start pretending that you don't understand you. Okay? So it's like, if you want something, if you're really, really like, I want this, I'm going forward, like this is the new path that I'm on, this is the journey that I'm going on, don't dim your light, don't dim your magic, don't dim your manifestation abilities just because other people around you say it's impossible. Because like, one of the things is like, you are so powerful that if you decide to sink down to the other people's level, you'll do it. So it's like, no, like realize that you can rise up, that you can rise above, that you can live the life that you want, even if the people around you aren't. Like, even if your family's miserable or something like this and they just don't understand you, like, that's okay. That's okay. You have got the Mother Mary card, and it says, into the arms of a mothering embrace swells a wisdom full of grace. In thy bosom, in thy bosom, where she whispers sleeps the eye of winter. Okay? So this is very much what we were just talking about being your own mother, being the own energy that cares for you, finding how you want to be taken care of and bringing that forward for yourself, which will then also allow other people to start treating you in the ways that you want to be treated. I feel like that's it. There's also like a plane or something going over outside my window, so I'm going to close off. Thank you so much. Drop a comment down below. Let me know how this resonated. Let me know if you have questions or anything like that. If you have ideas for videos, or you want a personal reading, or you just want to clarify some stuff from this reading and you want me to do another reading, let me know. Anyways, I will talk to you later. Mwah. Bye.